What's up, y'all? Hey, Shmu-el back at it again on the camera. And got some shit to talk about today. You know what I'm saying? Good things. Good. It's a good thing, I guess. If you enjoy my motherfucking videos. On my H2O going. You know, that shit important. So, I want to start off, even though I'm not a Christian, I want to start off by reading some Bible shit. Now, why would I read some Bible shit if I'm not a Christian? Well, just want to let y'all know my opinions on scripture, because I read the Bible on a pretty regular basis. You could argue it's one of the most important books ever written just by influence alone. This is a Tanakh. It's pretty much the Old Testament. It's a Jewish traditional book, but we're gonna open up to a random book. Let's see. I'm gonna just read and tell y'all what I think. So this is Esther chapter 5. On the third day, Esther put on royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's palace, facing the king's palace, while the king was sitting on his royal throne in the throne room facing the entrance of the palace. As soon as the king saw Queen Esther standing in the court, she won his favor. Must have thought she was cute, huh? The king extended to Esther the golden scepter which he had in his hand, and Esther approached and touched the tip of the scepter. "What troubles you, Queen Esther?" the king asked her. "And what is your request? Even to half the kingdom it shall be granted you." "If it please your majesty," Esther replied, "let your majesty and Haman come today to the feast that I have prepared for him." The king commanded, "Tell Haman to hurry and do Esther's bidding." So the king and Haman came to the feast that Esther had prepared. At the wine feast, the king asked Esther, "What is your wish? It shall be granted you. And what is your request? Even to half the kingdom it shall be fulfilled." "My wish," replied Esther, "my request, if your majesty will do me the favor. If it please your majesty to grant my wish and accede to my request, let your majesty and Haman come to the feast which I will prepare for them, and tomorrow I will do your majesty's bidding." I read this before, so it's a coincidence. That day Haman ran out happy and lighthearted. But when Haman saw Mordecai, that's a regular show character, in the palace gate, and Mordecai did not rise or even stir on his account, Haman was filled with rage at him. Nevertheless, Haman controlled himself and went home. He sent for his friends and his wife Zeresh, and Haman told him about his great wealth and his many sons, and all about how the king had promoted him and advanced him above the officials in the king's courtiers. "What is more," said Haman, Queen Esther gave me a feast, and besides the king, she did not have anyone but me. Excuse me. And tomorrow too I invited her along with the king. Yet all this means nothing to me every time I see that Jew Mordecai sitting in the palace gate." Then his wife Zeresh and all his friends said to him, "Let a stake be put up 50 cubits high, and in the morning ask the king to have Mordecai impaled on it. Then you can go galley with the king to the feast." The proposal pleased Haman, and he had the stake put up. So I guess in ancient times, it didn't take much to piss somebody off to the point where they wanted to kill you. But that's about all I got to say about that chapter. I want to move on to another topic, right? I want to move on to the topic of learning how to embrace the BS in your life, learning how to embrace the negativity in your life. And I'd like to thank Clutch Life for inspiring the original version of this video. Clutch Life, if you're watching, you know who you are, Nick. So, what does it mean to embrace the nonsense? Embrace the bullshit, I'm going to put it. Well, we are human beings. We're living on this planet Earth, right? And we're all going to go through something on our finite existence. Even a baby cries right after it's pulled out of the womb. So we all going to suffer. So how are we going to use that suffering? Because you could sit around and be like, wow, why does all this bad stuff happen to me? And I'm privileged compared to a lot of people on this planet. I mean, I live in America. I got a roof over my head. I eat every day. But I still got my own personal problems just like everybody else. So then sometimes I've been like, why? What is the point of all these problems? Why I gotta go through this? Why I gotta go through that? I mean, it's not fun to suffer. Obviously not, right? But then you gotta ask yourself, will the good times be as good as they were without the bad times. Because opposites, right? Up, down, day, night, black, white. Don't you need one to have the other? Now, I mean, the thing is, what is good and what is bad? Because every culture, every human being has their own definition of what's good and bad. I bet if a husband raped his wife, some people would say that's ridiculous. Don't do that. If a husband raped his wife, some other people would say, oh, they're married. Come on now. That woman owes him the pussy. Because they would look at women as just, objects or something along those lines. But either way, I'm not trying to get too opinionated on little issues. I'm just trying to use that as an illustration of how different people have different ideas on what's good and bad. There's no set definition of what's good or bad. And they might say the Quran say this or the Bible say that. But not at the end of the day, we got billions of people on the planet and they're all going to disagree. Opinions, man, assholes, everybody got one. So at the end of the day, when quote unquote bad stuff happens to you, you can pout, sulk, and just whine about how hard your life is. Or you could get up, try to think about it in a positive way. Try to think about it as just something that can help you become a better person tomorrow. Although maybe this is a redundant message. Maybe y'all smart enough, y'all don't need me to tell y'all this. But I just want to really try to make y'all think about what y'all consider to be bad. Because something bad in the short term might be good in the long term. So it's all relative. But that's all I got to say. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want me, well, I'm going to keep reading Bible shit anyway, so it don't matter. Unless y'all really say, Shmu-el, stop fucking reading Bible shit. I'll go to church if I want to hear the Bible. Appreciate y'all for watching. Stay tuned. I'm out.